Hey everyone, how's it going? Azren, the language nerd here. Hope you're doing very, very well on this fine Thursday, late morning, I suppose, or whatever day and time it is for you right now as you're watching this video here. Welcome to episode number 63 of Azren's Journal. So for those of you who are new to this segment, or this video rather, in my channel, this is the segment on my YouTube channel where I talk about my personal language learning journey and of course give you guys a whole bunch of different language learning tips. I've been a little bit less regular on YouTube, and so I'm excited to be here today. Basically, as a very quick life update before we get into our topic of today. My life has been very, very busy lately, busier than usual. My life is typically busier than many other people's lives, at least in my age range and things of that nature. Professionally, it's just very, very busy, but lately it's been even busier with the coronavirus and things of that nature. So every day there has been an extra approximately 3 hours, give or take, 3 to 4 hours of work that I have to do just with the family because everybody is home at the same time. For example, my sister, who I'm her guardian. And so there's extra work and responsibilities with that. On top of that, there's extra things I'm doing at work. So I'm trying to innovate in some different ways, which is taking up time. I'm spending extra time on our program development. So making sure that we have a good program in place for the students that are coming through our language classes. And so that's something I'm spending extra time on. I'm spending extra time right now on working with teachers that work within the whole Calgary Language Nerds. So that's a focus point as well, that an extra focus point that maybe wasn't there before. We have been doing I've talked about this on YouTube. We've been doing our free, or rather pay by donation classes, which AKA can mean free. Some people pay donations, some people don't. It just depends on people's financial situation. So we've been doing those classes every single week for French, Spanish, Mandarin, German, English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, German, and English. French, Spanish, German. Yes, those 5 languages. We're also going to do a trial for a few different languages. So we did a trial for Thai. We're doing a trial for Danish in a week, less than a week. I'm doing one for Gujarati this Saturday. So we're trying different things, and it's just keeping me super busy. I'm trying different marketing and advertising strategies, so that's taking up time. I'm talking to a lot of new students and potential students and language learners nowadays with different initiatives, and it's just a time with lots and lots of change, primarily in my work life, but also some in personal life as well, just because of this coronavirus and things of that nature. And so, yeah, I'm having one thing I've been prioritizing more. I'm sorry, prioritizing a little bit less has just been the content side temporarily. I do want to get back to my usual amounts of content and really kind of put out regular things that are very useful across all the different platforms and doing that. But might see a little bit less of me in the next, weeks, potentially months to come, but you'll still see me, weekly, minimally, maybe even multiple times a week. So follow different social networks. I post as often as I can be right now, which, by the way, secret between us two, when I'm posting not as much as usual, I usually tend to be posting just as much as other people. And when I'm posting kind of my usual amounts that I'd like to be, I'm posting more than most people typically do. So hopefully you'll still be getting lots of good content from me and you're happy with the stuff that I'm putting out. Now, let's jump into the topic of this video now that our little introduction is done, life update is done. I'm going to put on this blanket, actually. It's a little bit chilly down here. I'm in the basement today. We're obviously sharing a house, and so different people are on different calls and such around the house, so I'm in the basement today. All right, get this blanket on. Keep me warm. Okay, so I want to talk about language exchanges today. Language exchanges are a very useful way for people to improve upon and build upon whatever language or languages that they are learning. And yet, I find a lot of people struggle with language exchanges, and they have a really, really difficult time with them. And the concept sounds good at first, as in the concept of a language exchange sounds really great at first, but then as they start to do it, they're like, oh, this is actually not as good as it sounded, or this is not as effective as I expected. And I wanted to share a couple of my personal experiences and give you some pieces of advice that'll hopefully make language exchanges a little bit more beneficial for everybody, and hopefully you can get a little bit more out of the language exchanges that you are doing, um, after you watch this video. Okay. So first of all, what is a language exchange and what is a language exchange app? Well, a language exchange is where you help someone learn your mother tongue and that person helps you learn their mother tongue. Essentially, you're swapping languages, you're exchanging languages. There are a variety of apps that will help with things like this. So there's things such as HelloTalk, that's an example. We have a website which is italki, which, by the way, little known fact about italki is that they have free language exchanges. Most people know italki for their language classes that are paid and where you pay a teacher to teach you. But it's a little known fact that italki actually does have as well free language exchanges on the website. And so italki is another one that is spelled I talk I. That's another great website. Another one that I don't have personal experience with, but I've heard a lot about is Tandem. So Tandem is how you spell it. That's another language exchange app where you can find people to practice with. There's a bunch. I think there's others as well, but those are three very, very popular ones. I personally have I have personal experience with italki and HelloTalk. So italki, the website, and HelloTalk, the application. And the first tip I want to give everybody about these language exchanges is I want you to understand that it's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers and effort. The reality is language exchanges are free. You don't pay for language exchanges. And in my experience, when you are using a resource to learn a language that is free, that you don't pay for, most of the time, almost always, free resources require more effort for that resource to work properly. For example, if you decided, I want to learn French and I'm not going to pay for a textbook, I'm not going to pay for any programs, I'm not going to pay for anything, I want to learn for $0 and I'm going to learn only from free resources, only from YouTube, right? I'm going to watch these YouTube videos that teach me the language. Well, it's going to take you a lot of time because you'll have to search up all of the right videos that you want. You're going to have to look for all the grammar videos. Sometimes you're going to watch something and it's not going to make sense to you. So you'll have to watch another video. You're going to have to dedicate an extra amount of time to figuring out how to learn French if you're not going to pay any money. Versus if you paid a teacher, for example, well, a teacher can probably explain something to you in a heck of a lot less time than you trying to figure it out by yourself, searching through YouTube, assuming you have a good teacher. So this is a concept that applies for the majority, I would say, of free language learning resources. And this concept applies to language learning apps and doing language exchange apps and doing language exchanges. So this is a prevalent concept. When you use the apps, such as HelloTalk, and you message someone saying, hey, let's do a language exchange, understand that probably up to 90% of people won't even reply to you, up to 90%. So if you send 10 people a message saying, I would like to exchange English for Spanish or Spanish for French or French for Mandarin, I would like to do an exchange and partner with you, up to 90% of people are not going to reply. So this is an important thing that you have to realize. Okay. Second of all, there we go. Second of all, so even once people have started to reply to you and people are replying and you're starting to talk to some people, understand that with the majority of them, it's not going to work out. They're not going to become a consistent language learning exchange partner because you're not going to get along, or their life is going to get busy. Your life is going to get busy. You're going to flake out. Something's going to happen, right? You don't know what to talk about. There's some stuff that might come up, and it's going to make it harder. It's going to make it difficult for that relationship, that language exchange relationship, to last for an extended period of time. So that's an important. So myself, I'm going to open up HelloTalk right now, which is an app I'm using for Gujarati. In fact, I wonder if I can do this. I want to try something here. Bear with me for like 30 seconds as I check something. Let me just check here. Let me see here. One moment. Bear with me. no, never mind. It's not. It's not a thing. Okay, that's fine. I'll look on my phone. I was gonna see if I can open it up on my computer, but I think it has to be an app. So on HelloTalk right now, I'm practicing Gujarati with different people, and I will tell you how many people I'm having conversations with. One, two, one, two. Oh, hang on, it's refreshing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 33 people. Okay, 33. That's a lot, right? And of those 33, just to give you some real numbers, actually, I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of them didn't even reply. So out of 33 people, 12 did not reply. Okay, let's break this down even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11? Yeah, 11 of them literally just don't reply very often. Even though they initially replied, we initially got something going, they weren't really talking. Like, they're only giving one-word answers. We were not getting along. So check that out. 9 people, or did I say that right? I think it was 9 people didn't reply. 12 people, or sorry, 9 people were like short replies. I think I said 11 or 12 people, didn't reply at all. So we're like 20 out of 33 people didn't even work out. And I'm talking to about 13 of them. And really, of the 13, I'll be honest with you, there's really only like 2 to 4 of them that are like actually working, and we're actually both learning something. So it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. That's a very important aspect to keep in mind when you're doing these language exchanges. It's not going to be something where you message a few people, you find a great friend, and you have this long-term relationship where you like practice. No. This is typically not how it works with these language exchanges. Okay. Now, second of all, these language exchanges, that's another very important thing with these language exchange apps. Okay, is you need to be interesting. You have to be interesting, and interesting comes in many forms. Fill out your bio. So when I look at my bio, I'm going to open it up on my app, right? I'm going to read it to you. Maybe I'll even show it to you. Actually, I'll show it to you, right? Right. I have a nice picture of myself. You can see it. I have a picture of myself, right? You see my picture, right? It's a bit bright, so you can't properly see it. I have a self-introduction. My name is Azren. I'm born in Canada, but my family is Gujarati. Since I grew up in Canada, there are a lot of things I don't know how to say in Gujarati. I want to find some people to practice speaking and writing with. I can help you with English, French, Spanish, or Mandarin. And then I wrote it in Gujarati as well, right? So મારું નામ Azren છે. મારો જન્મ કેનેડામાં થયો, પણ મારો પરિવાર ગુજરાતી છે. હું કેનેડામાં મોટો થયો અને અહીં પણ રહું છું. એના કારણે મને ઘણી બધી Oh, sorry, that's actually miswritten. I need to fix that. I've got a mistake in Gujarati, but I've written in Gujarati as well. So have a bio, have a picture, right? Make it interesting. When you talk to people, don't just say, hi, right? Hello. Like, tell them, hey, my name's Azren. I'm learning this. I'd like to help. I can help you with this. Like, look at their profile, see if they've written any interests that they have, right? Like, try to be interesting and form a real connection with the other person. That's very, very important, right? That's very, very important when you do these language exchanges. Also think about this as well, right? Think about who you're messaging, right? So, it's funny, if you have, let me even see if I can show you a real life example. If I just look on this app to see what kind of people there are, like I've got, let's see if I can find a real example. Everyone's got their profile pictures, things of that nature. Like there's probably got to be like, if you have a good looking girl, so like there's a girl here, she's showing her face in the profile picture, pretty good looking girl, right? She says her age is 24 years old, right? Like, understand that people like that, if it's a girl and they're good looking, even guys that are very, very good looking or handsome, pretty, things of that nature, right? Understand that, they might be getting a lot of messages. That's how it is, right? Like if they're good, if they're kind of a good looking person, they have a nice picture, like even me actually, you know what? I've got a proper filled out profile. I'm even a good example. I bought a like nicely filled out profile, like a nice picture of me. Like I'm not super handsome per se, but like it's a nice profile, I think. I get a good amount of messages. People message me, right? Because it's like an attractive profile. So someone has an attractive profile, understand that they're receiving probably more messages than the average other person on the app potentially, and they might get to pick and choose who they talk to. It's like I said, I've got people I'm talking to. There's been people I've chosen to not talk to as much because they're kind of more boring. They're not helpful, and we're not clicking. So understand that as well. Like that some people might be getting a lot of messages, and you know, you're you're not you have to make a real connection with them. Okay. Other tips for these language exchange apps when you're talking to people on these apps, right? I think you need to have a good structure for the conversations, a good framework, right? So one thing that one guy did, one guy I'm talking to a lot, he did a great job of this early on. Right in the beginning of the exchange, when he started to talk, he sent me a voice message, and he said, "Hey, my name's this. Let me introduce myself." He said, "I'm speaking to you in English right now, but I think a good thing we can do is every time I message you, I will message in English. Every time you message me, you message in Gujarati. What do you think of that? And then I will correct every mistake you make. You correct me for everything. And then we can help each other like that." And that was a very good framework to set in the beginning. You don't have to set that exact framework. It doesn't have to be, I always talk in French and you always talk in English and that's how it is. It doesn't have to be that, but pick some kind of a framework that you do. It could be, it could be anything. I like what he did. I particularly like that. That's a good one. Another framework could be, hey, you know, uh, when we talk on this day, it's all French, and then the next day is all English, or it's 50% English, 50% French, or there's different ways to structure it, and I think those are really, really good. I think as well for these language exchanges, I would take advantage of doing lightweight messaging, like messaging throughout the day. Versus some people I see, they try to always schedule like a time to chat on the phone and do like a 1 hour block of time. That's great too. I've been doing that, but I think it's equally important to just be doing texting throughout the day, send some voice messages, be talking to them, right? I think that's um, equally important. I think that really matters too. So that's something as well that I'd recommend for these language exchanges. So yeah, I think to wrap this video up, I hope there's been some useful tips here. I think to wrap it up, understand it's a numbers game. You'll have to message lots of people. You'll have to be original. You have to look at their profiles and try to make a genuine connection. Make sure your profile is filled out to make sure you got a nice picture. You have a good bio, right? You're clearly stating what you'd like to work on. When you talk to different people, right, make sure that when you first start that conversation, if possible, try to have an interesting kind of intro where you're telling them what you'd like to work on. I didn't say this, but don't have expectations of people on the app. You don't need to expect them to reply to you, or some people are not just going to be very useful. They're going to give you one-word replies. They're going to be slow to answer. You're not going to get along. Understand that's normal. Don't be mad. Don't get upset. It's kind of just hit and miss and kind of flowy and an even flow. And I'm okay with that personally, but I know when I talk to people who do language exchanges, that's not always how they feel. And lastly, just diligence, right? Use the apps daily, right? Talk to people daily. When you haven't heard, I sent someone a message the other day and that I hadn't talked to in a while. And I was like, hey, haven't talked to you in a couple of days. How you been? Right? Follow up with some people, get some conversations going. It's like you're at a party and there's lots of people at a party, right? You're just trying to be kind and network and chatting with different people at the party, right? Be a nice human that just chit chats and small talks with everybody around them. All right. Well, hopefully that was useful. A good 20-minute video. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and then we'll chat later. Bye for now.